Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Sailing Sacred Seas. Last week with Vika away in Ibiza, I spent 2 weeks solo sailing down the rugged coast of Sardinia. This week she's finally back, but before she lands I've got one last stop, exploring Cagliari and enjoying the final taste of Italian food. Because next up we'll be setting off on our longest passage yet, around 40 hours at sea with 2 nights under sail, as we cross to Tunisia in northern Africa, where we'll find Kaia's winter berth and our home for the next 7 months.
And I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night.
So here we go, guys. This will be the first time that I've docked in a marina on my own without Vika. And of all the days to do it, 22, 23 knots of wind. So let's see how we get on. Fenders are all out, lines are ready. I've put a couple of extra fenders on the stern as well, because I think it's going to be stern too. Ned mooring, so I'll radio in a minute, and fingers crossed all goes well. After 2 weeks of solo sailing and with Kaia safely moored up in the marina at Cagliari, I slipped the lines of responsibility for a little while and headed ashore to take the dogs for a much needed walk and grab a cup of Italian coffee. Tomorrow we'll do all the boat jobs, cleaning the boat and prepping all the boat, getting everything ready, and then pop into town, actually have a little explore of town, and then we'll go to the official officers to stamp out the country, and then we'll get ourselves all prepped and ready, set to sail to Tunisia. Before leaving Sardinia and Europe, I had to officially check both myself and Kaia out of the EU. The process is done at the port offices in the city. So we've just arrived at the port at 9 o'clock. The office is supposed to open at 8:30, but of course it's not open yet. We're at the Officio de Polizia da Frontiera Marittima, if that's how you say it. So I've got to sit around, wait for another half an hour or so apparently. So we'll see how long that actually ends up taking. They're only open till 11, so fingers crossed they actually do open. Okay, so I actually went in after about 5 minutes, but then left again after about 3. Because I'm leaving at like 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, I actually need to come at 5 p.m. tonight, just before they close, so they can stamp me out just before they close. So we'll be back again in a few hours. So I'm currently having a little tour around Cagliari, just using the bike to explore the old town a bit, and it's looking pretty nice so far. So you come down an old little cobbled street, and then that's a little bit impressive. So up here now, pretty much the highest point, and we're going to head round and see the cathedral, and then we'll start to head back. Cagliari was the perfect farewell to Italy. I cycled the old streets, visited the tower and cathedral, and soaked up in the atmosphere of this historic port city, before stopping at the legendary Cafe Barcelona to try their timeless old-school Sardinian cuisine, rustic, hearty, and full of flavour. This is like proper grandma's home cooking stuff. So they're called corniglianos, and like a dumpling or something. Good. With Vika back on board and our small crew finally whole again, we woke early the next morning and cast off the lines to set off on what was to be our longest passage yet. Ahead of us lay out an epic 2-night sail out on the open waters, from Sardinia all the way to Tunisia in northern Africa.
good to be back home and connect back to the sea and the sacred lands of Sardinia and just be.
Yeah, what about me and the guys?
Yeah, you and the guys.
Oh wow.
Now, okay, we're leaving Sardinia and we're taking on a long passage to Tunisia. Wish us luck. I just had a treat to inspire me to feel good energy and allow myself to flow with the flow of the sea.
That is the end of what, two weeks? 2 weeks in Sardinia, or just over 2 weeks maybe. So we headed down to the south of the coast after Cagliari, and we're just setting off now on a journey to Tunisia. So it is somewhere between a 20 to 24 hour passage, depending on how the weather goes. But it should be relatively smooth passage. The wind's going to be on a beam most of the way. It's not going to be very strong, but it'll keep us going. So we've got the motors on at the minute just to get us away from land. We're going to lose Starlink, I think, as we get off coast, and then we've only got the European package, and they don't actually do it in Tunisia yet, or apparently it's going to come next year. So that's a shame. But we'll get our SIM cards and all that once we get there, won't we?
Yeah.
Because the plan is to be in Tunisia at the minute for 7 months. So that's where we'll be holding out for winter. So we're booked into Monastir Marina, 7 months, from the 1st of October to the end of April. So fingers crossed we like it, because tough titty if we don't, really.
Tough titty, wow.
Tough titty if we don't. Always taking the piss of the British here.
Tough titty.
Yeah, my tough titty. So yeah, so we're saying goodbye to Sardinia. It's been nice. Vika hasn't seen a huge amount of it, but I think we'd like to come back again because it is a really cool, calm place to sail. It's very different than the islands of Spain, the Balearic Islands. It's quite sparse. It's lots of nice little bays again and things, but it's just really nice and calm, and quite isolated beaches and things. So yeah, we might come back again at some point. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, hopefully next year, because I would love to explore the land a little bit more and maybe east side of the island. So yeah.
So we're not 100% on our plans yet for next season, whether to head across to Greece and Turkey, or whether to do Croatia and Italy, or maybe come back here. We don't know yet, but we'll plan all that out through the winter, because as we said, we've got a while to have a look at that. So anyway, for now, bye to Sardinia.
Bye.
Bye to Sardinia. Bye.
The Italian flag fluttered for the last time as we rounded the southern tip of Sardinia before we waved goodbye to our first season in Europe. In just 3 short months, we've covered hundreds of miles, and now another 40 hours of open water lay ahead.
Currently having a great sail, about 7.4 knots in just over 12 knots of wind. Just off the beam, so it's nice, really nice sail here. Just engines are off and everything, and we're making really good time at the minute. So fingers crossed this keeps up for the time being. So we've got the wind at 60 degrees at the minute, and we're hitting 8 knots in 14 knots of wind. So that's not bad at all, really. We're making good time at the minute. Maybe we're making too good time.
but I doubt we'll be on that. We'll be getting that speed up the entire journey, so we'll just enjoy it while we've got it.
The forecast couldn't have been better. A steady 12 to 18 knots of wind on the beam reach. With the sails trimmed, Kaia found her rhythm, charging along between 7 and 9 knots, as if she knew this was the crossing to close our season. As the sun sank into the sea, the sky lit up with fire before fading into deep indigo. Night fell and the stars spilled across the sky. The westerly breeze carried us on hour after hour, Kaia humming with energy as she held her line. There was something poetic in it. Our longest, most consistent sail of the season, carrying us out of Europe and into Africa. By dawn on the second day, the horizon was glowing pink. We lowered the Italian flag and raised the red crescent in historic Tunisia. And with Kaia still flying faster than predicted, we made landfall hours ahead of schedule.
So we made land in Tunisia about 4 hours ago. But seeing it was early morning, we decided to carry on. So we've sailed along the edge of the north coast, and we're just about to go around the Cape here and start to head onto the east coast. And further down the east coast is where we're going to be staying in Monastir. So yeah, we're going to head down a little bit and then anchor up, take a rest for a couple of hours, and then see how we feel. We might continue down a little bit more, or we might just stop because we're pretty shattered. It was, as I say, very little sleep because it was really rolly, but still chuffed with how good a sail it was. We're just leaving the north and we're going around the east side. Places we've never been.
We've never seen.
Yeah, we've never been here before, Vika or I. So interested to see. And so far it's barren, dusty, red cliffs. But looking forward to heading south a little bit and seeing what it brings.
The coastline of Sardinia stretched out before us. Africa, our first glimpse of a new continent. After weeks of island hopping across Europe, it felt surreal to be sailing along these shores, knowing this would be Kaia's new home. But by a second day at sea, the tiredness was hard to ignore. The heavy eyes, the endless rhythm of the waves, and the long night watchers catching up with us. Still, with North Africa laid out on our starboard side, every mile felt charged with anticipation. After 32 hours of non-stop sailing, and as our second evening began to settle in, we decided to pull closer to shore and drop anchor for a short rest. But unfortunately, we were only able to stay for about an hour before the coastguard came out and told us that no boats were allowed to anchor along this stretch of Tunisian coastline. So we raised the anchor and continued on our second night passage, with around 15 hours still to go before reaching Monastir Marina.
Arriving to our home for the next 7 months.
That was a rather epic mission of being moved on and having to sail all the way here instead of 15 hours. It was ended up around 30 or so. So we're just pulling in now. I've got to keep my eyes here and here. We're pulling into Marina Cap Monastir at 6 a.m. so we're probably not going to be able to check in quite yet. And you're not really even supposed to put your feet on land until you've gone through all the customs and things.
Okay,
so we'll see how we get on.
Okay, we're getting in.
Tunisia Guard National. This is sailing vessel arriving at Cap Monastir Marina. After weeks of Mediterranean island hopping, this crossing felt like a true milestone. Europe fading in our wake and Africa rising ahead. A reminder of just how far this journey's already taken us, and how much still lies ahead. But for now, with Kaia safely tied up in a new winter home, we can finally pause, catch our breath, and look forward to exploring a whole new culture and country together. And just like that, season 1 of Sailing Sacred Seas come to an end. And what a ride it's been. Our very first season exploring Europe aboard Kaia. don't worry, we're not going anywhere. The winter months in Tunisia will bring plenty of boat jobs to tackle, upgrades to plan, and a new rhythm of life in a very different corner of the world. Stick with us here in North Africa, because there's so much more still to come. From exploring our new home, to sharing the behind-the-scenes reality of keeping a cruising catamaran ship-shape. Thank you for joining us on our first chapter. This is only the beginning.